All right, what is going on? What's up, Quinn Observatory? How's everybody doing? Um, you guys notice I got a haircut. I kind of did it myself, so it's a little messed up. Don't judge me. We're still under quarantine, and I can't really, get one professionally done. Anyways, that's not what the stream's about. The stream's going to be about Bitcoin, what it's doing, its targets, the possibility of gold blowing off, and some gold targets in current positioning in the market and so forth. I'm also going to cover the S&P, possibly the QQQ and such. I've kind of got right now the 4 hour on BTC. We had a target, we had a couple of targets, bullish targets that got hit today. Hit as in they made it. I lost my mouse pointer. I really need my mouse pointer. There we go. So yeah, we had a few targets. The second one was right at that 93.30 mark, right, which is going to be 61.8 of this last retracement. And I hedged here. I got two stops, one at 93.70 and one at 94.19. If this keeps going up, my longs will earn, that short will fold and hopefully keep going up. I'm gonna start with like the daily chart on BTC. It just happened. Alright, so if we look at BTC USD, Coinbase, go to the weekly actually. Alright, going into the weekly, this is looking like it could be the explosive run that everybody signed up for crypto, right? Everybody got into crypto because of the chance of BTC going on a ranger one day. And my perspective, I think she's ready, right? I know it's gonna happen from up here, but I think she's ready, especially after the fact that we saw this big dip, right? Everybody thought, not everybody, a few people, the overwhelming majority thought that this was going to be a bear break, or we're going in a new bear market, right? And what they did is they misidentified what's called the liquidity grab, right? So liquidity grabs are these things. That's when the market breaks down and shakes out all the longs, right, before going on a rally. And we're going to see that, right? All asset classes do this. They shake out before going on the rager. So, that to me is probably the most bullish sign for BTC. So other than that, let's talk some targets, right? Let's talk some targets. Remove drawings, remove indicators. Remove drawings. There you go. That's what I'm looking for. Now, let's go back to like the 120 and the 240. All right. So if we don't get above this 61.8 retracement, we're likely going to get a pullback, right? We're probably going to get a pullback, maybe break back down. If you go to my hourly setup, the BTFD setup, right? If you guys have traded 2019 with me, these two lines proved to be really effective in buying the dip, right? And they coincide at like 81.22. Only we're above the top one, right? Being above the top one is still bullish. I'm gonna go back and show you what these sets of moving averages did back in 2019 before we entered a corrective phase, right, during the bullish thrust. And it did really well. If you just bought these MAs, right, on the way up, all the way from 3,700, right, support, boom, support, held above, took off, new heights, pull back to red. Here we got, a little bit of chop once it was back above, So in the initial phases of a run, it looks promising right now. That being said, right, if we keep going up, I'm going to go ahead and kind of switch it up a bit. Go to Phantom Script, the 2 hour, or the hourly actually, just work our way up. The hourly caught this dip, right? It caught the drop. So did the 2 hour, And if we can, once again, if we can stay above this zone, you guys can see, and if you're familiar with Phantom, if you're not, you want to try it, there's going to be a link in the video description, right? So if we stay above this zone, above our midline, you see these green red dots, right? Then our next target is going to be, I think 10,600, right? That's our next bull target. So if my stops get run over right now above the 61.8, probably just gonna let it go. I'll let it do its thing to like 10.6. Now, ironically, you know, if we get up to 10.6, then we're above, and we're actually going to be above the big wedge, right? And that would put us in breakout mode. One thing I highlighted today, that yesterday, days are kind of getting jammed up together because trading is really crushing. I think it was earlier today actually, and I think we were like right here. You know, bears were defending something. Bears were defending this support resistance break, right? And ironically, that 89.59 mark, right? And that's where Bitcoin tends to blow off, right? So that's what I think they're defending. And the likelihood of a blow off happening are pretty high, especially if you get up to 10.6. We're going to see some kind of liquidity down, right? But if we get up to 10.6 and retest wedge, right? So let's kind of draw this one out so I'm not just talking so you guys can keep up with me. I'm just going to draw the wedge on the weekly because it's got the best support resistance. Back here. There you go. Alright, so if we come back down, if we go up to 10.6, right, and then come back down for a retest of the wedge, at that point, my next two targets are going to be pretty high. I'm going to be looking at 12.3, right? That would be one of my next targets. And another one is going to be this wick high to the same wick low, right? And I think the next one's like 17,000, right? So if we get up to 10.6, close above, come back down, close above the wedge, then I'm expecting a swift move up and another move up, right? Or you're gonna come back down into like this zone. That's a possibility, but you know, another thing that has me optimistic, if you look at other assets, like we look at gold right now, and I'm not saying there's any kind of correlation, but alternative assets, guys, look at that gold dip, man, right at my zone. Okay, TradingView doesn't want to cooperate. We'll give it a second. What's up, Mr. Crypto? My chart is not cooperating. I'm going to go ahead and do just a quick refresh, see what's going on. But so gold is doing this big pennant. Sorry about the interruption. So gold's doing this great big pennant, and it looks like it wants to break out to the top side, right? And if you look at like the weekly, guys, this market is bottom. Gold is bottom, right? It's looking very much like BTC in 2018. I actually tweeted that fractal out, posted a few places. Some people laughed because I was comparing a one-day chart to a 5-minute chart, all right? And then what happened? The 5-minute chart did what I was expecting it to do. So, you know, at that point, I'd want to see gold run up to like GLD would be 210, like 2151. Let's go to GLD. Should be the gold ETF. Yeah, so we're looking, gold's looking pre-breakout, like really soon breakout. BTC's looking pre-breakout. That kind of tells you there's going to be an appetite right now for these alternative assets, these quote-unquote hedging assets, right? 210. That's kind of the synopsis. That's what I'm looking for. What's up, Mr. Crypto? You guys on Facebook, smash that like button, say hi. Alright, so another interesting thing about BTC, right? I've got this chart and hopefully my drawings are still there. No. Man, I had all these correlations on move drawing. I can practically just draw them back out. I was doing like a comparative analysis of BTC from here. Here, I'll pull up the one next to it, and we'll do a little bit of this. Boom, XBT USD. Remove indicators, and let's go to daily. Trying to crunch this in real quick. Alright, so maybe 720 on this side, just so you get a little more detail. Alright, so what I'm seeing is like this isn't quite a compound head and shoulders, right? But this setup really reminds me of this setup, right? And we're likely, if this was an Elliott, I had my Elliott wave in Discord for you guys in VIP. I'm sure you saw it. This would be wave 1 technically, because it's higher than the previous high, which is right here. Well, let me go back to this chart and make it bigger. All right, and forget 3 and 4 and 5. This being like the higher high than this previous high, that would sort of set us in a 1. When correlating that with what happened here, right, in the 2019 bull market, right, that was our 1, this was our 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So if this is 1, right, which is the optimistic case, the bullish case, that I'm seeing on BTC, then the 16K mark, that could be wave 3, right? We could possibly see that unfold. What's up, Friday? What's up, Junkie? Yeah, so ideally, where we are here would kind of coincide with where BTC was back there. So it could be very much early on in the run, right? I didn't just flip bullish. I didn't just flip bullish at 10K like yesterday. 10K was our target, and we shorted 10K, and we're currently hedged. So I'm playing both sides, right? But I'm betting on the upside. A lot of people are not, and I think that's because they made the mistake of thinking that this was a bear break, right? Whenever they think this is a bear break and they get stomped out and they sit out and wait for a lower BTC, well, that's sort of what happened to these guys, right? Where they, these guys, they're like, oh, we go 489, we're going back to 200, right? Oh, 751, we're going back to 280. Oh, 890, we're going back to 600, all right? 1700, we're going back to 200, and that's where markets get tricky, right? Let me go back to like the S&P. Let's go to the S&P real quick, and drawing. Actually, you can keep the drawing tools on there. Why is this being slow? I'm not sure what's going on with TradingView. Is it just my TradingView? Is it you guys' TradingView? Anybody else getting a slow TradingView today? Unresponsive? We're going back to the SPY, right? We didn't get this extended run until it broke a lower low, right? So we had this perspective. I'm talking about the 2019 bull run, right? We had this Oh, it's a bear break. Oh, we're going back down to 210. What did the market do instead? No, it turned around and it rallied higher, right? And every single time it's rallied up to a new high. This is what a liquidity graph is. You know, it breaks down to a lower point and then it takes off. So that's why I'm thinking BTC is going to do one of these. Same thing over here, right? Breaks down to a new low, goes on an extended run. So yeah. Well, maybe it's just me. I tried to reboot my PC earlier and it wasn't cooperating. It wanted to do an update. I don't like those updates. All right, so we're looking at the S&P, and somebody was like, "Hey, so you're bullish on the S&P, but it broke down today." That's fine. All right, I think this is a bear trap, and the reason I say that's because what got us up here was the Fed, and is the Fed just going to go up on it? I don't think so. 61.8, right? You be sure to see the 61.8. The S&P just hit a 61.8. Probably just collecting bears, you know, like just big red candles, right? And then boom, what happened at the 50% Fib? Got turned around. What you don't realize is when it gets up above 294, right? When the S&P gets back up above 294, it's gonna be in blow-off mode, right? It's gonna rage, and I'm saying that because when it closed above 301, I remember sending out the newsletter saying, get ready for a blow-off. This thing's going to pop. And then in December, when I published, like December 21st, I published that expect some kind of correction. Where was it? December, you know, right around here. I published saying this thing's going to come back and correct because we still don't have a retest. And then it came all the way down, right? So the reason we got, you know, this rejection here, it's a 61.82. If it's a very trap, it's going to get vicious because once this closes above 300, right, the next target is 380, right? I'm not like a perma bull on all markets. If you study my history, I was really bearish on the S&P here. I was actually bearish on it here, right? And then I realized what the Fed is doing. And then realistically, you know, I do think we can get back above. All right, Fame Bam, hit me with some questions. Let's take a look at Ether, ETHUSD. And we did have, I posted this like yesterday, saying, you know, 201 is our target for the long. That's a possible hedge. And that's how, you know, that's how we should treat it. So if you guys hedge 201 today, I saw a couple of 201 charts in VIP. You guys in VIP, you know, you're doing awesome, right? You're picking up on these 61.8s, and you see my notes, you post your charts, and you're reading the market well. And yeah, we had like a little bit of like a descending broadening wedge down here, right? I'm just like I'm not gonna call it a flag of any sort, but if it was pointing up, it would have been a bear flag, but it wasn't, right? And then it did a wedge retest, then took off. Yeah, so there's some critical points here, right? If it's either going to be going above 201 and BTC breaking above the 61.8, which is, let's go back to the hourly and fib it, right? Which is pretty close. It's almost there again. And once it breaks up, right, you know, expect bullish continuation. Same thing on ETH. It gets back above 61.8. Expect bullish continuation. You know, likely 227 and likely 10.6. You know, ETH BTC spot, man, it's been tricky. I've been keeping an eye on it. It's really like, I don't know. So I'll show you what I'm seeing long term. Where's my Bittrex? There we go. I'll show you what I'm seeing on the long term chart. You know, we were above this wedge, we broke back in. Just gonna remove drawings. So that's what it is. If I try to remove drawings, it freezes. I feel like I'm using the internet back in like 1992. Alright. No need to get upset, right? Alright, here we go. So, and let's go to the daily. Really show you a big picture of what's going on here. Let's get rid of this. So this big wedge aside, right? Try to clean this up. Right. So the structure here, it's fairly similar to what happened in this zone, right? Especially like right here, especially now after this second shakeout. So I feel like that decision is going to be up to you. If we do break support here, then I feel like Ether is going to be hopeless. But if we don't and we keep rallying, remember that fractal I was sharing, right? We get like that little bit of a zigzag, and then a big drop, and then a steep bottom, corrective phase. This chart should have bottomed already, right? And compare that to gold, right? If I just lay them side by side, or the BTC 20, you know, that run I was highlighting, right? So we'll do this, right? This thing should have bottomed already. I don't know why it's acting the way it is. And let's go here, like, let's just do gold. Weekly. Alright, so I mean, structure wise, we shouldn't still be ranging down here. Let's see if I can zoom out. Right, where we get our squiggly, right, and then the breakdown, and then you get one steep bottom, a little bit more of a rounded bottom, and then it's takeoff, right? But it did two shakeouts. Going back to just the ETH BTC, here you can see exactly what I'm talking about, right? And then just to kind of validate a little bit more, let's do BTC, and then here, I mean this, depending on perspective, how far in you zoom in or you zoom out, I'm going to go ahead and delete these fibs so the chart's cleaner. This is practically the same structural formation, right? Where we've got, and I feel like ETH already did this. So we've got these, this range, right? And you get a zigzag in this range. Same thing on BTC. And then we get a downwards break, right? And we got our downwards break. We got steep bottom, rounded bottom, steep bottom. Not quite a rounded bottom, right? But I mean, the two of them, and then it took off. Back to ETH BTC. If it doesn't take off now, I don't know when it's going to. So, yeah. There's a few things going for it, right? And we kind of did the same thing here in this zone, right? We got our squigglies, breaks down, steep bottom, more of a rounded one, did this fake out once and it took off. So look for something similar to play out. You bet, Santa Fe. Alright, yeah, we can definitely check out BTC with the XABCD scanner. Somebody put up a butterfly. I didn't, you know, the scanner's not picking it up. So here's some like previously played out formation. There's a 4 point here, 4 point here. Right now the hourly is not showing anything. 2 hours not either. We go in like small time frames, I'll be able to catch things, right? So the thing is, when you're using the scanner, just because there's a formation with a PRZ here doesn't mean you short down in here. No, you want to take the trade at the PRZ. Same thing up here. So it's going to show you the formations as they're pending. As they complete, they're going to definitely ring the PRZ and more than likely ring the actual stop, right? And once they turn here, that's going to be the juicy entry. Maybe 15, right? You can do this on any time frame, and if there's valid patterns, then the indicator is going to pick it up. All right, so this was actually a butterfly, and it broke up. A couple of 4 points. There's a reversal, and so forth. Let's check ETH. I like to run this on like smaller time frames to look for confirmations that are fib levels, right? Because I'm a big fib trader. And if I can see a formation ending somewhere that's relevant to these fibs, right? So here's one, right? And then it took off. The 4 points are going to be the basic ABCs, right? What was this? This one's invalid. So, bam. Hi, Delilah. I wouldn't buy, I wouldn't put fiat in, right? I mean, I think buying BTC was, if you didn't buy the dip, if you didn't buy 6K, if you didn't buy like 54, I think that's what was it on the daily? Or is it 3-day? 2-day. That's what it is. It's drawings. Sweet, still working, right? So I'm gonna go on BLX just because you'll see exactly what I'm talking about, right? I wasn't expecting BTC to break down below this white line, right? When it got back above, oh my guys, this is it. We saw bottom, 5,300, even on the way down, right? I had bids at 53 and it just dumped right through them and liquidated part of my Deribit account because there wasn't enough bids to execute my stop. And it was risky, but on the way up, made up for it, especially like longing down here all the way up to 10K. But yeah, so, and if you go back in time, this withstood several bear markets. Right, it actually held up 2015 all through 2015, and then it actually marked bottom and the 2018 drop, right? And then here, this was liquidity grab just below it. So I feel like, I mean, if you do diversify that risk, man. Like, I can't really tell you what to do with your money, you know what I mean? Not on YouTube. So yeah. If we get a move up to like 10.6, then we retest the top of the wedge and you go back up, then definitely it would be a classic breakout trade, right? It would be a classic breakout trade. That about covers what I wanted to cover. What do you guys have? You guys look at alts or anything? One alt that's on my watch list and it just took off right now on the Ether chart. I know what it did on BTC. Yeah, I kind of did something on BTC too, right? S&T ETH looked violent, man. Well, probably the same thing. So it kind of rebounded. So being at another 61.8 Ether and BTC at the same time, we might see these alts rally again, right? Last time we were at the higher 61.8. What was Link doing? It was down here, and I said, guys, Link's probably good for a long. What's Link doing now? It's back at the zone. So if we don't get that continuation from Bitcoin, right? If we get that downward rejection, then it's probably going to be a good idea to pick up some altcoin bags, the ones that you think have the most momentum, or however you value your altcoins. Right, but if it goes through the 61.8, ironically, it's like right where that wedge top is. So I'm not saying the breakout's going to happen tonight. You know, I'm hedged. If it goes tonight, we make money. If it dumps tonight, we're protected, right? So you always want to like limit your risk. If it does get above, you know, likelihood of 10-6, definitely in the books. All right. I kind of just went over Chainlink, right? And I think what's gonna get these alts going, if I can move this a little bit, I can move my screen a bit, but then you lose BTC price, right? So if BTC pulls back, if you get a pullback here, I expect these things to just rip. But if a BTC keeps rising, it's gonna rip them up, man. It's gonna tear them up. They're not gonna be looking good. I have not heard of OMG since 2017. I don't know, man. That's kind of, it's risky. Probably the cheapest it's been ever, right? I mean, yeah, indefinite downtrend. I don't know, some of these suppressed altcoins might just rip, like completely take off. I don't know if you guys traded 2017, like these BTC forks, right? And here's what happened. It started retracing back up, and then somebody charted a 61.8 and said, you know what, we're going to dump it to 61.8. Boom. That's all we got. Alright, fam. You guys have any more questions? Show me. And like that actually kind of worked out with Phantom and the scanner, right? So let's just get rid of the fibs. Look at that. You know, Phantom set down. I'm pretty sure you have Phantom. Over just asked about OMG. Frank, you've got Phantom? So, support, we just go by the midlines, right? So, 781, 759, you know, possible reversal zones. And if it keeps going down, then, you know, 666. Alright, going over back, Tezos CRX. Bad BTC. That's looking very much like Clink. Alright, I'm just gonna chart this by eye, remove indicators. This is looking just like that link chart. Yes, I have a photographic memory, so like this stuff's pretty easy. Alright, so if BTC pulls back, I expect BAT to go up. Tezos probably looking the same. Tezos and Link are pretty well correlated. Oh my god, glad I sold out of Tezos because we had longed it over here. This 40% move. Now it's coming all the way back down. That looks like shit. But you know, Tezos is one of those stronger tokens. You know, if it does close back above 2809, right, and then it definitely found fib support. It could just be like running through the range, running through some stops before it goes back up, because we see these charts do this a lot. Let's use Phantom. Not the daily. That's just not a good setup. The 4 hour looks legit, right? So 2040 or back above 28, right? So this would be a good buy if we get this drop. That's where we'd want to like buy the dip, or I'd want to buy the dip. Whoever's trading it would want to buy the dip. You know, this one worked out. It was a long accumulation period, but it was just followed up by a run, right? T1, and then if you would have fibbed it or got out on my signal, Gone out right towards the top, 3,600. Going over ZRX. You guys on YouTube, thanks for all of the tokens. This is awesome. Alright, this is a Tika show, right? Tika showed this, his people bought it, they pumped it. Man, I wish some of these charts from 2017 are still trading. I've got this. When Tika pumps a chart, right, it leaves a signature move, right? It kind of does 1, 2, 3, and then he sends out the buy signal to his group. And I'd isolated this in 2017 on like SALT. I went through the tokens he listed and I looked for like an accumulation pattern that could be identified like a fingerprint, right? And it's kind of what he leaves his mark on the chart. I'll go through Discord and see if I can find them from 2017. And this looks kind of similar. It kind of blow your mind if I can find those charts. It'll be interesting. If you guys are not on Discord, make sure you're in Discord because I'll put them up. Alright, fam bam. So that about wraps it up. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you got like exposure to both sides. If you're not quite sure how to hedge, hop into VIP. We're still doing 50% off your first month. That ends in 2 days, right on the 15th. So take advantage of that. Learn how to hedge. Learn how to long and short at the same time. Not like at the same time, but in terms of exposure to protect our row and be able to trade the breakout whichever way it goes, because we're not always going to be right, but if we're prepared to trade both ways, market's going to go one way or another. If it goes sideways, it doesn't matter. Anyways, thank you all for tuning in. You guys have been amazing. Thanks for all the recommendations. Make sure to smash that like button. And yeah, I'll catch you guys on Discord. And I'm probably going to stream again. We're doing 3 times a week. So today's Wednesday, maybe Friday. Depending on what the market does. If it's sideways, don't expect to stream. If you start moving again, I'll be back. Other than that, be safe. Use your stops and hop in Discord. Thank you.